Good evening, Council, Mayor Online, City Manager. Although I'm here to just have a handful of slides to talk about Burien's Commute Trip Reduction Program, which is really the first in a series of transportation-related presentations that we'll bring forward throughout 2025 to talk about safety, how we can mitigate any kind of safety deficiencies out there, congestion mitigation, connectivity, mobility, all those kind of things that center around transportation. We'll be bringing forward with updates now that we have our transportation master plan adopted back in October. Let's see here. We are on the first slide. So this thing here. Excellent. So maybe the first thing to start out with is, what is the Commute Trip Reduction Program all about? It was actually in response to the Exxon Valdez spill that happened decades and decades ago. And in 1991, Washington State enacted law through RCW 70A.15 in the 4000 series, and also taking a look at WAC 468-63. And what this does is it provides a means to improve air quality and a means to mitigate traffic impacts that impact environmental complications due to heavy congestion and traffic related issues. And so that law actually requires any agency, any state agency that has over 100 employees assigned to it, to develop and implement a 4-year commute trip reduction program. And commute trip reduction is actually just a very short way of saying a number of mitigation efforts that can be done to help improve the environment and reduce congestion mitigation. Some of those things that reduce congestion mitigation and improve the environment could be things such as providing improved ped and bike opportunities, increasing mobility through public transportation networks, and those kind of things like that. They also encourage walking and also telecommute working opportunities for those employers that can provide that opportunity to the employees. In that, really what the CTR program does is it provides options to employees that can take advantage of different programs the state is offering and the city offers through the state, so that they can help the environment and, again, improve safety, reduce congestion mitigation. So Burien's 4-year plan update, what is it? It is a requirement. The city is required to update the plan in a 4-year cycle, and this year is where we are on that cycle. And we have to reach out to 2 of the leading high population employers. One is the city itself, right here at City Hall, and the other is St. Anne's Hospital. So what we will do is we will be conducting surveys within City Hall itself, and also working with those administrators at the hospital to see how their employees are getting to and from work, what options are available, and what incentives and programs we can do to support them. So that survey is a state mandated survey that is standardized across all jurisdictions in the state. They ask the same questions, they analyze the same results, and then they take that information and can coagulate it into strategies for helping the transportation network and the environment. The program also provides a means to get the word out communication-wise and engagement-wise to promote these things, promote healthier life cycles for the transportation network, and then programs that help people get mobile, walking, biking, those kind of things. So there is incentive programs associated with that. And in fact, as we develop the 4-year plan, I think my next slide here is the schedule. As we develop this plan and as the plan becomes approved by the state in June of next year, we will be eligible to be the recipients of over $31,000 of incentive opportunities. That could be Orca cards, it could be bike lights, it could be ride share homes for people that are working late in the dark in the rain and they need a safe way home. So those monies can be used to help people with that. The schedule itself, so just in November, just last month, we submitted our draft 4-year plan to the state for its review. And then we also submitted it to the Puget Sound Regional Council, which is one of the councils that helps distribute funds that are for grant opportunities. So we submitted it to both of them for comment to make sure that we're addressing their needs. And also they're looking at our plans going forward on how we're going to engage the community and look at vulnerable populations, how we can help them, those kind of things like that. So I expect to have those comments back in the next couple of months, and we'll just bring the plan back for your final review with those comments and then get it adopted there. So January, we already know that we have a number of partners that we're working with in the community, begin that outreach process. Who's interested, who's involved. And we'll also work with our regional partners like Sound Transit, King County Metro, those teams like that to make sure that we're incorporating any cross-jurisdictional trip needs. If someone lives in a different city or agency, works here, we'll be able to kind of address those needs through that communication. And then in June is the adoption of the plan, or it does say adoption by council. It will be our proposal recommendation to bring that forward for the adoption. And once that's done, we will begin the implementation of that plan, which would include those incentive programs to distribute the ORCA cards or $31,000 worth of funding for that. So let's see here. I believe that really is the last slide of this. The intention tonight was really just to bring forward and highlight some of the transportation related programs we have coming up in 2025. And this is the one that's getting us kicked off. So with that, questions, comments?
Anyone have any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions, but just thank you for presenting that and for working at making it easier for Burien's employees to get around and to work from the place that makes the most sense for them. I had a couple of questions. The first one is, has the gig economy changed this in any way, where people can now call for rides in a lot of different ways? Is that formulated into this, or is that just something that's kind of come out of left field since 1991? And
no, I think it's a part of the program that's been evolving. What they realize is some folks can find their ways to work, and then, you know, through safety, security, bad weather, they need to get home. So that's where that program has kind of evolved from. It's not brand new, but I wouldn't say it was back in the days of 1991 either. So.
Thank you. Yeah, the last time I was in a large employer, that wasn't really an option. And it was like, you take the bus, and then if you need, if a family emergency comes up,
yeah,
you know, you take the bus home, and however long that takes.
Yeah.
The other question was, it had to do with the data that you get from this. Is that then shared to Sound Transit in a way that can help them identify need for additional transit? Like, can they use this to build up the transit that's coming into Burien, or is it just to give us ORCA cards?
No, they use that data. They collect the data. It is anonymous. I found that out, or confirmed it, I guess I should say. It is anonymous, and what they're doing is looking at what programs across the board, whether it is the cards or just the trans-jurisdictional transfers that have to happen, numbers. In fact, I was in a meeting earlier today with a transit authority where we were looking at how the bus links happen across jurisdictional lines and what's best for Burien. So all of that does get used in different ways, whether it's the incentive programs or programming operational needs through the metro services, or funding of grant opportunities that might be for improvements along those networks, such as bike trails or bus routes, bus stops, crosswalks, those kind of things.
Any other questions?
I don't know if this is going to have anything to do with it, but I am curious if the data will show the changes in the workforce or in how people work because of the pandemic and the new work from home and how that's possibly gonna change. I know workers that are working from home and they go in to the office by public transportation once or twice a week
Mhm.
instead of what might have been 5 days a week.
Mhm.
Are you going to be asking those kind of questions about how that's changed, or do you think that will show up in the data?
I haven't seen this year's data questions like that, so I don't exactly know. But my guess is they are going to use it for ridership so they can program the bus services. That's what historically has been done. So I guess they're going to extract that data like that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Great.
Looks like I have a hand up. Hugo Garcia?
Thank you. I got disconnected and I used a different link. So I had no other questions, but I just want to make sure I could get back in. Thank you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Ron.
Great. Thank you. And thank you for your time and looking forward to more transportation related presentations. Great.